Hello BIOL1001, welcome to the start of the semester. This video is going to give you an overview of the course site. Of course, as an online course, you will be interacting with the material and the assignments and me and your classmates primarily through the Canvas site. So it's important to know where things are, and it's also important to know how the class site is structured because it reflects how the course is structured. So it will help keep you on task from week to week, so make sure that you complete the assignments that are due in that week. So let's start by going to your dashboard on Canvas. Canvas.umn.edu will take you to the Canvas site, and you can find your courses listed here. You are, of course, in 1001-090 Fall 2018. If you click on that, it will take you to the course homepage. There's a few things up top that are useful for you, including a link to the syllabus, a link to the course schedule, a link to the lab homepage, which I'll talk about in more detail in a moment, a help link, which gives you general information about who to contact if you have technical issues related to the online proctor, Canvas, or the Launchpad system, which I'll talk about all of those here in a minute. The course Q&A is an important forum because that's where you can post general questions about the course content and course structure to me. I respond to them. Anything you post there, I will respond to, usually within a day, and other students can see it. So it's a very useful place for general questions about the course or about the material. Of course, if you have a question that's perhaps more private or related to your grades or something along those lines, you can always just email me directly. I respond to all emails and all posts on the course Q&A. Your team forum is where you and your team can discuss content and questions related to the course. If you're working on a project or something like that, that's a forum for your team. Up to you how to use it. Occasionally I check in on them just to see how things are going or see if there's a question I can answer. But I don't check on them all the time, so don't post questions to me there. If you have a question for me, post it to the course Q&A or email me. Here's my email, and here is also the email of the course TA, Tom. So if you have questions about the content or about the lab, you can always email Tom as well. We're both available via email, and we are also available for office hours by appointment. If you reach out to us by email, we'll be happy to schedule office hours with you. I encourage you to do it because feedback is one of the most effective ways of learning this material. And you don't get it in the same way online as you do in an on-campus course. I'm not there in class to kind of check in on you. But you can regularly set up times to meet with me. I'm happy to do that, or however you want to do it. We can also meet online over Skype or Google Hangout too. So before you get started with the course, here's a few things you need to do to prepare for the course. Technically, you need to use the Chrome browser. It's the one that works the best with Canvas and the tools that we use online for this course, including Proctorio. Proctorio is a remote proctoring service that we use for you to take the exams. It only works with Chrome, so you need to use Chrome. Once you get that set up, you can then take the orientation quiz. The orientation quiz covers the syllabus, the schedule that are linked to above, and it unlocks the rest of the course. So you need to complete the orientation quiz to continue with the rest of the course. It's basically a chance for us to check that you've done a little bit of background reading and you understand how the course will work. Once you've done that, register with Launchpad. This is the online interactive assessment tool that we're going to be using in conjunction with the textbook to basically help you better understand and learn the material from the textbook. And then, of course, if you complete this pre-course extra credit survey before class starts tomorrow, we will give you an extra credit point on your exams. So do that. These are all things you want to do before class starts tomorrow, or that you want to do as soon as class starts tomorrow, because they're all important to continue in the class. So the way this course is structured is that we have weekly units that cover specific subjects, and we have accompanying lab modules that run week to week. And so I'm going to start by doing a quick overview of the units. This is in effect like the weekly lecture material that you'll be receiving. We have a total of 5 units. After every unit, there is an exam. In the case of Unit 1 and 2, we combine them and the exam covers Unit 1 and 2. But every other unit, Unit 3, Unit 4 and Unit 5 all have their own specific exam. The exams are not cumulative. Every unit has its own page, and I'm going to open up one of those pages here. These pages are laid out to help guide you through the week's activities, okay? These are essentially your weekly homework assignments. At the top of every page is an overview video that I will post that discusses the material for that week and gives you kind of an overview of what activities you need to complete for that week. Below that is a set of learning objectives. These are things you want to be familiar, you want to be able to explain to yourself at the end of the week. If you can explain these learning objectives comfortably, then you will do well on the exam. If you can't explain them, then you need to reach out to me or Tom and we can give you some feedback. Beneath that is a list of the activities that you will be completing over the course of the week. So you have some heads up that you can schedule out your week and make sure that you complete these tasks on a timely manner. There's a little more this week than typical in the first week because there's, on top of the assignments to learn the material, there's a series of introductory activities we need to do to introduce you to the course and to your team, okay? Beneath that is the actual activities list, the actual activities that you're going to do. You can expand them all, or you can do them one by one. The first one is watch the video at the top of the page. Redundant, yes, but got to make sure that you catch it. The second one usually is a background video that kind of gives you a little introduction about the material for that week. And then they follow an order from what we suggest, or the order we suggest you do to complete the activities, because they do build on each other. You don't have to do it in this order, but it's recommended. And like I said, there's a few more activities this week than there would typically be in a week. These are these introductory activities: introducing yourself on Flipgrid, setting up a Google Drive with your team, signing up team leaders. Typically, weeks consist of a reading activity that is pulled from your textbook, a reading assessment activity, which you will carry out on Launchpad, and then a set of essential questions that you complete with your team. So these questions relate to the material from the textbook. You answer them with your team, submit it as a team. Typically your team leader submits it. Everything in a week is due at the end of a week, and the weeks will, for this semester, run from Tuesday through Monday at 10 p.m. Central Time. The exception is the essential questions discussion. You need to post a response to the essential question, your own take on an answer, to this essential questions forum for your team by Thursday. That gives your team a chance to discuss all of the answers and come up with a summary answer for the team specifically. So be sure to post by Thursday your answer to the essential questions. Otherwise, everything else is due on Monday at 10 p.m. Then you submit your essential question answer as a team. That's due on Monday, the summary answer. And then at the end of every week, we ask you to complete a what did you learn survey, and this is basically a chance for us to get a sense of what you understand, what you don't understand, what we can help you with, and we typically will either reply individually to your responses, or I'll post a summary video kind of going over the major ideas that people were struggling with from that week. So this is a really useful tool for you to get feedback, so please take it seriously and fill it out at the end of the week. It is graded. And at the end is just a list of each assignment that is graded for that week that's due at the end of the week. Of course, the exception is the essential questions discussion forum, which is due Thursdays. So that's how a typical week is structured, typical module is structured. Let's go back to the home page by clicking home and look at one other key site that you want to pay attention to. So in addition to doing the content learning over the course of a unit, you're also doing a series of labs. And the lab page is structured in the same way, or is structured to kind of walk you through the labs that you'll do over the course of the semester. So every week has every week has a different lab activity that you need to complete. You're doing 2 big labs over the course of the semester, and so they span multiple weeks, and you can come here to follow basically the schedule for those labs. If you hit expand all, every one of these modules details what lab activities you need to complete for that week. And week 1 is basically just prepping for the lab, making sure you get the lab kit, doing some preliminary reading, and downloading some software. Week 2 is an introduction to experimental design. It's a series of interactive videos. Week 3, you start one of the big labs. It's the Evaluating Claims About Cancer lab. It's going to cover multiple weeks, up to 6 weeks, and each week you'll be doing a different activity related, building on that lab. Ultimately, you and your team will come up with a research question and answer it as a team. But you can look here to see what's coming down the pike for labs that week, or upcoming weeks. So those are the main sources of information from week to week: the lab homepage and then the weekly unit pages. The only other major parts of the homepage you need to be aware of are the discussions link. This will take you to any discussions, be they essential questions, course Q&A, team forums, all of that is listed here. The announcements page, from here on out, I will be communicating with you primarily through the announcements on the homepage. So check it regularly. Make sure that you look here for any updates on assignments or labs or course information. Will all be posted here at the top of the homepage. And then finally, we have our grading page, grades. If you want to check your grade for the course and see what you got, you can click here. And then last but not least is the People's button, and that will take you to a list of everyone who is in the course, but more importantly, a list of everyone who is in your team. So if you go here, it will list all of the teams and all the team members in each team. So you can check here to see who's in your team and start communicating with them at the start of this, at the start of the semester. Other than that, well, there's nothing beyond that. That's it. That's the introduction to the course and the course site. And if you have any questions about it, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm available, especially via email, to help figure out any problems you're having with the course site. Other than that, I will see you later online.